Alright, back again, Luke here, and as you can see, probably by the bags under my eyes, I just woke up. I wanted to make this video here and kind of throw a bunch of stuff in there. For example, some updates, talking about some pre-orders, and differences in arcade boards between a bootleg, a conversion, and an original board. But kind of a little bit of a mix of everything in here. First off, I guess what I'll talk about is the Castlevania board, or my悪魔城Dracula board. I called up Mac Japan today and wanted to find out how the board is and what the status is, because I went and sent that out, or I took that in on September 19th, and I haven't really heard too much from it since then, and the guy said it would take about a month to fix, so I called him up and asked him what the status was, and it was great because he knew exactly who I was right away. I was like, I'm calling because I sent in a board, my name is Luke, and he's like, oh yeah, there was the悪魔城Dracula board. I was like, whoa, okay, pretty cool. But he said that they got the board running, and the board is stable right now. Before, the board would kind of turn on, but then it would turn itself off, and then it would glitch out, and then it came up with RAM errors and stuff like that. And then when it did work, there was a problem with the sound. Like, the sound effects and the gameplay were totally off. There was like a 3-second delay. So once you would get hit by an enemy, you would hear like, ugh, 3 seconds later. So it was something that was really irritating, and especially when the board was listed as working. But they're trying to work that out right now, so hopefully, I don't know when. He didn't give a specific date as to when the thing would be 100% complete, but they're working on it now. At least it's constantly turning on and it's firing up, so that's a good step in the right direction. So I'm happy about that. I just want that board back. So, but yeah, that's the update on the悪魔城Dracula board. The other updates, I guess, pre-orders. So what I did this afternoon is I went down to my local game shop, and I asked about the Neo Geo X Gold, and they just started taking pre-orders for it. They haven't even mentioned it. I had to mention it to them, and they're like, oh yeah, we haven't really started yet, but we are taking them, you know, for anybody who knows about it. So I went and pre-ordered that. And that in Japan costs 19,600 yen, so it's a bit over $200, maybe like 220, 230 bucks for that. So I'll be picking that up. That comes out on December 6th around the world, so if you haven't pre-ordered that and you're really interested in it, I would recommend going for it. It's probably going to be a very limited run of the machine, and you know, for right now it seems like they're only taking pre-orders for it, so try and get in on that if you're interested in picking up a bit of some classic hardware in a new generation kind of feel way. And I also pre-ordered the Wii U, the premium package. Now, there's two different kinds of packages. For those of you who've watched the shows on the internet, or who have gone to E3, or have kept up on the Wii, there's two different versions. There's the basic package, which is the white Wii U, and that doesn't come with any kind of software. It's, in Japan, it runs 28,000 yen, so it runs over $300, like maybe $320 or so. And the other one is the premium package, which is the black color, and that comes with a little bit of software, and that one in Japan runs 31,800 yen. So what I did is I pre-ordered the premium package because, you know, there's only a small difference. It's like $30, give or take, between the two. And I like the black color, so I decided to pre-order that. That'll be coming out here in Japan on December the 8th. So anyone who's living in Japan who's interested in trying to get one of those, go down to your local game shop, or go down to one of the electronic stores, Bit Camera or Yodobashi Camera, and see about doing a pre-order on that, because it's probably going to sell out pretty quickly. But those two are taken care of, so I'm going to just wait for that. Christmas and December is going to be a good time of year. Lots of good stuff coming out. The other thing that I wanted to mention is arcade boards. Now, what I did recently is I picked up an arcade board, and this is an arcade board that I've been wanting for a long time, really long time, and every time I seem to find it, it usually averages about 45,000 yen, 55,000 yen, somewhere around there. So you're looking at about $500 to like $550, something like that. And it's really uncommon in Japan. When it does come up for sale, it's usually bid on quite often, and it usually gets sold pretty quickly. I found one, and it was for sale, and it was listed as a buy it now, so I went and checked out what I could see in the picture, and it looked legit, everything looked great, so I clicked on the buy it now, I bought it, and I just got it in here yesterday. And when I got it home, it looked a little bit different than the picture. You gotta watch out on the internet when you go to buy arcade boards and things like that, especially if you're looking at an arcade board that is notorious for people converting it or bootlegging it, and sometimes the pictures don't show exactly what the board is. The board that I saw on the auction, or the net when I saw it, was a kind of a stretched out picture. And even though it was stretched out, it had paperwork with it, and it looked legitimate. So there was just one picture of it, so I bid on it, and I won it, and, that was the end of the story. I got it home here, and I noticed something right away, and there were a couple other things that I noticed as well when I picked the board up, and it was kind of a little bit disheartening, but for the price itself, it's not too bad. With a conversion, usually a conversion on an arcade board is a board that used to be a different game, and they changed the game ROMs out, and they swap it over to another game. Now, this is a legitimate CPS-1 dashboard, and for this board here, this is my King of the Dragons board. And you can notice right now with this board here, it has all of these Capcom stickers on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see up close or not, but it has the lettering written on it as well. It'll say like KD, which is King of the Dragons. This is a legitimate board here. It hasn't been swapped over or anything like that. Also, you can take note of the size of the board here, and there's also a sticker up here at the top that says King of the Dragons, and there's also a battery in it. So these are some things to look forward to if you're trying to buy a CPS-1 board. Try and make sure that all of the labels on it are the exact labels, and if it's a good seller, they'll have all of the information on there. They'll say that it's a legitimate board. If you go to get a conversion board, what it is, at least with CPS-1 hardware, now this is the dash hardware, you'll notice that it's a little bit short here, compact, and it basically, these boards here were designed to run different games. You could just get a bunch of different ROMs. If you had the security chips as well, you could swap them over. It was really easy to swap these ones over. And let's put this one over here. This is the board that I bought. Now, if you notice, this is also a CPS dashboard. It even says dash on it. Some of them say dash, some of them don't. This is the exact same board as the one before. One thing you'll notice here is that the battery tray, where the battery was, there's no battery there anymore. It's completely missing. And on top of that, there is no label on top of the CPU here. There are some Capcom stickers here, but these Capcom stickers do not go with the game. Now, these boards here are extremely easy to bootleg and, to convert. And with the conversion itself, sometimes people will leave the original stickers on, sometimes they'll take them off. When you go to buy a game, make sure that the stickers themselves don't look like they've been peeled off. They look like the original ones. And once again, make sure that they have the right codes on them. Now, these stickers here say Street Fighter 2. And I don't know why the guy left them on there. It's kind of a big mistake because it's really easy to see. And this game that I thought I bought was this here, because it came with original instructions. Well, it came with copied instructions, but from the internet itself, from the page that I saw, it looked like original instructions. This is Dai Makai Mura. Now, Dai Makai Mura is Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and this is one game that I've been wanting for a really long time, so when I saw it, I just was really excited, clicked on it, and, got it, and then when I got it home, I was like, oh, okay, great, this is not the same. Dai Makai Mura is basically the biggest conversion right now for the CPS-1 boards, and it's probably the simplest one. A lot of people take a Street Fighter 2 board, and what they'll do is they'll erase the EPROMs on here, all of the EPROMs, they'll remove the battery, and they have to change out the security chips here, and then bang, it's a Dai Makai Mura. Now, the easiest way to tell the difference between the conversion and, for example, an original one, I don't have an original one, but this is a CPS-1 board here. Now, this is, or it used to be, Merck's, and with this board here, you can probably tell already that this board is much larger than this board here. So if we hold them up like this, you can see the difference. The original Daimakai Muda, or original Ghosts and Ghouls, had a long board like this. It was a really stretched out one, usually had Capcom written on it, and it's probably the easiest way to tell if it's a conversion or not. If you ever find one of these smaller, shorter boards, it's 99% a conversion. Well, it's 100% conversion. The other ones that you can find too are bootlegs. And what a bootleg board is, and how it differs from a conversion board, is usually some of these boards here are handmade. Somebody has taken a piece of like circuitry and they've put like EPROMs on it, soldered them in, and it doesn't look like this at all. You have a daughter board here, you have a second board, a B board, and an A board that all connect together. But with some of the bootlegs, it's only A and B. Or with some of them it's A, B, and C, but you'll see a bunch of EPROMs that are on the bottom, soldered, things like that. That's a bootleg. But nonetheless, I wound up getting a conversion board. And although the conversion board, like I said, I'm not too upset with it because the price was reasonable. I think I paid about $100, maybe a bit more than $100 for it, when the original one goes for like $5. So it was a pretty good deal. There's some main differences between the conversion board and the original board. Obviously, with the conversion board, you're missing some of the sound in some of the parts, or some of the sounds, like at the beginning, they turn on and it's just a sudden burst of like sound effects or music, and then it jumps into the game. But you'll also notice that some of the sound effects in the background, like wind blowing, sound a little bit staticky. And it can be a little bit irritating. Other than that, the game plays fine, but it's not the original game, so a little bit disheartened with that one. But nonetheless, if I do come across the original one, I'll definitely pick that up because that's one that I've been wanting for a while. But yeah, just to let you guys know about this one, so I do have a Daimakai Muda board, basically, or a Street Fighter II converted Daimakai Muda board, or Super Ghouls and Ghosts board, but it does work for the most part, and I'll be putting up some gameplay on this one here, maybe later on today. But those are some things to kind of take care of when you go to buy a board online, especially eBay's pretty common for having a lot of the bootleg boards, but or the conversion boards, but also in Japan too. I'm realizing slowly but surely that there are a few of them out there, and they do exist. So nonetheless, that's just a few updates for me, and some pre-order information and some information about these arcade boards here. But yeah, I'll finish this video off here and pop this in and play some of that. But yeah, that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching. And just for graphics in the background and just for fun, you can see there's Cho Makaimura here playing on the old Super NES for the Super Famicom version. And here's Dai Makaimura, the closest one to the arcade version here, for the Sega Mega Drive. Big difference between Cho Makaimura and Dai Makaimura. But nonetheless, I thought I'd have that rolling in the background here. If you guys didn't guess it already what it was, you know now. So, that's about it.